Hello everybody, welcome. This is one of the Pendulum reads we're going to do. And this particular episode this week is Bigfoot, imagination or multi-dimensional. So Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, is a humanoid being, and it's said to live in forests, particularly in the Pacific Northwest of America. But reports also suggest that it's from all over Northern America, also from Australia, also from the Himalaya. Everywhere in the world has a report of some kind of Bigfoot or Sasquatch being. So it's described as a large, hairy, bipedal being. There is no official public scientific evidence for its existence, and most scientists don't even believe it is real. But the story of Bigfoot or Sasquatch is supported by, quite literally, hundreds of thousands, multiple sightings, footprint casts, and stories, the oral stories from the Native American folklore and the First Nations people too. And the bulk of them comes from the general public, pretty much since time immemorial. And alleged sightings commonly describe a creature between 6 and 15 feet tall, covered in brown, sometimes black, sometimes reddish head, very broad shoulders, and those broad shoulders can be 4 foot wide, no visible neck. And there are footprints which give the creature its name, and those footprints can be 4.5 inches wide by easily 18, 19 inches long, some 24 inches long. And that's basically what the evidence that people are finding. So the name Bigfoot is often being referred to in Europe as the Wildman, and it's got the same meaning as Sasquatch, and that has a derivative from the Salish word. But the term Bigfoot gained widespread use really in the 1950s, late 1950s. I think it was about 1958, after a Californian newspaper published articles about large, mysterious footprints found at logging camps. So what we're going to ask here today are some questions to shed some light on Bigfoot. So I'm going to turn the camera down, focusing down onto the pendulum, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is all about Bigfoot or Sasquatch. And I've got Solstice here. I'm going to be using Solstice for this, which is a really, it's a beautiful piece of amethyst. It really is. And I keep these on here just to give it some energy. Imagine if this was the pendulum. Ooh. Okay. So, is there any truth to there being existence of Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Does Bigfoot or Sasquatch exist? Is there any truth to that? So remember that we're with Solstice, and north-south means yes. And that's what we have. The energy that is coming through my hands is intense. Wow. So do Bigfoot or Sasquatch exist in their physical form? Do Bigfoot or Sasquatch exist in their physical form? That's a yes also. All right. So does Bigfoot or Sasquatch exist totally within our dimension? We're going east-west. That's no. So the question is really, is Bigfoot or Sasquatch multi-dimensional? They can move from one dimension to another. Wow. Wow. Can Bigfoot or Sasquatch change their form? Can Bigfoot or Sasquatch, can they change their form? From flesh and blood, really. Can they change their form? Alright, so we're getting an anti-clockwise. We're not allowed to know, so we'll accept that. So we're not allowed to know the answer to that. We accept that. Okay. So, does Bigfoot or Sasquatch exist in family groups within forests? Does Bigfoot or Sasquatch exist in family groups within forests? Predominantly forests, north-south. That means yes. Okay. So is Bigfoot or Sasquatch, are they in existence worldwide? Is Bigfoot or Sasquatch in existence worldwide? Are they on every continent on the planet? North-south? That's a yes. Oh, wow. The energy, it's as if something is burning through my hand. That is absolutely intense, that. Sometimes you get that with very strong questions. It depends on the subject matter. So do the governments of North America have evidence of the existence of Bigfoot and Sasquatch? Do the governments of North America have evidence of the existence of Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Do they have evidence? Oh, look. North-south. Of course they do. We kind of know that. Of course they do. All right. Do the governments have bodies of Sasquatch and Bigfoot that they have studied? Do they have bodies of Bigfoot and Sasquatch that they have studied? Oh, look, that's a yes too. So the governments of America and Canada usually say to anybody who's foolish enough to say that they have seen a Bigfoot, you saw a bear, when all the time that they have bodies and they know exactly what they've seen. Wow. It beggars belief that people are being lied to like that, especially when there is so much evidence to say the contrary. Right, where are we? Let's keep moving with this. So, the Australian Army, when it was on manoeuvres in New South Wales, was harassed by the Australian version of Bigfoot, which they call the Yowie. Is this a truthful incident? Is this correct? Is this what happened? That the Australian military was harassed by the Yowie? They've got no reason to lie. That's a yes. Okay. Had to move my arm because it was aching. Was the Australian military involved in a cover-up of this event? Was the Australian military involved in a cover-up of this event? Oh, look, that's a yes. Well, that would be at the behest of the government. All right, so has the American Special Forces, have they been involved in hunting Bigfoot? Have the American Special Forces been involved in hunting Bigfoot? That's a very clear yes. All right. So there is a story of troops in Afghanistan being attacked by a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch in a cave. In fact, it was a massive shootout. Is this a true story? It starts off with a stop on it with a block, and then it's going straight to yes. It started off with a stop. Wow. Okay. So was the body of the Bigfoot that was killed, was it recovered to a research unit back in the United States? I should also add that this was described as being nearly 20 feet tall, this person, this being. And it was a 30-minute shootout. All right, okay. So was President Theodore Roosevelt, was his story of coming across Bigfoot in 1892, was it a true story? Was President Roosevelt telling the truth when he said he saw a Bigfoot in 1892? Was that a true story? Yeah, absolutely. Be interested to see if we're allowed to find the answer out about this. Do Bigfoot have supernatural capabilities? Do Bigfoot have what we would call supernatural capabilities? Yes. Well, some of us know that. Okay. Are Bigfoot or Sasquatch able to cloak themselves in order to protect themselves? Are Bigfoot or Sasquatch able to cloak themselves in order to protect themselves? Yes. Yes, they are. Right, so do Bigfoot, Sasquatch, do they emit natural radiation from their bodies? Yes. Yes, they do. Okay, so do Bigfoot or Sasquatch need to top up their radiation? The amounts of nuclear reactivity in them, do they need to top that up? Do they need to go to a power source to recharge? Anti-clockwise, then north-south. That's a yes. That's a yes. First it was anti-clockwise, which means you don't know. It means really you're not allowed to know. And now we're getting a north-south, which means yes. That is fascinating. I have long understood them to be near power plants or places where they can get some kind of charge. So, do they inhabit areas near nuclear power stations? Do Bigfoot and Sasquatch deliberately inhabit areas near nuclear power stations? Wow, that tells me and you that nuclear power stations leak like a sieve. Okay. Are Bigfoot the gatekeepers in the afterlife to protect us from the darkness? Are Bigfoot or Sasquatch the gatekeepers in the afterlife to protect us from the darkness? They are. They're gatekeepers. Wow. Okay. Are Bigfoot or Sasquatch inherently kind and loving beings who fear the gun of human beings? That's a yes. Wow. So Bigfoot, Sasquatch, it's out there. According to the Pendulum, they are most definitely out there. And no amount of lying by any government can tell us otherwise, because we just know what these governments do. We know what they're like. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. It was different, and I hope you enjoyed some of the answers. And it's amazing what we find out from these pendulums. There's lots of lies, official lies, that have been told, and we get to the bottom of them here, and that is what this is all about. So thank you for watching, and be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Thank you. Bye for now.